If somebody came up to you and just said, look, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm 25 and I feel like I'm just stuck. Time's going too fast. Maybe I feel like I should know what I want to do, or I know I should be doing this. Somebody who's, younger, what is something you would want to let them know of?
If you ask people what their passion is, it's funny, they'll tell you, and it has nothing to do with what they're doing. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. And you're like, well, okay, go do that. It's wild. We know exactly what it is. The answer is in us all. It's worse these days, and things have changed, haven't they? We're talking about more mental health issues, and I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm this and that. It's tougher for young people now because you've got way too many external things trying to tell you this, that. We don't even go sit down. Why do people talk about meditating and all this other stuff? Go sit in a quiet room and just, I don't know, create some sort of a humming noise and think. We don't do that. Right. When we're in a dark room, we've got a phone in our face, looking at other stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. If people, if they do that practice, they start to hear what they're supposed to be doing, and then they start doing it. Like, that has nothing to do with you. The answer is inside you. It's not out there. It's not here. No one's supposed to tell you what to do. So my solution, I've never been asked that before, but what I would do, I would tell somebody, you've got to spend more time quietly listening to yourself. And I'd ask them, what's your true passion? What'd you want to do when you were 6? I don't think I wanted to help people with health when I was 6, but it came on pretty early.
Right.
So everybody knows. We just sometimes choose not to listen to it.
That's good. So here we are, Vigor Active, right here downtown Fort Worth. I actually got the honor to sit down with the owner.
Hi, I'm Stephen Newhart, the owner of Vigor Active.
So I'm going to be asking Mr. Stephen his thoughts on everything. I'm thankful and honored to be here.
Yeah, it's great to meet you. Thanks for being here and doing this. It's great.
Yes, sir. Yeah, first thing I wanted to say is beautiful gym here. What's the motivation, I guess, that started you to be like, I want to open up a gym, I want to start a gym?
Well, let's tell the backstory because I'm going to give the people that were involved credit where it's due. I worked here. I came to work here in 2008, and it was a gym before. It was called Larry North Fitness. If you're not from the area, Larry North was a very big name in this area. Okay, he had, I think, 6 clubs when it was all said and done. So I worked for him, and when I teach a class about how to do this, really, and I always give the advice: you got to work in the industry. You gotta do good for somebody else before things will come your way. And I worked very, very hard for them. I worked hard for my general manager that was here and the owner. So around the year 2017, I guess, is when he came to me and said, I'm thinking about rolling up my gyms. It's been a good run for me, and do you want to take it over? And I said, sure. So that's how that happened. But the passion for fitness has always been there, of course.
Yeah.
That's the start. And literally helping these people. I helped 200 clients probably while I was here for that 11-year span before I bought it.
Right.
So a lot of people around here still know who I am and remember me from our training days as well, but I just don't do that anymore. I have to lead the training staff.
Right.
That's how this whole thing went down. But it was not easy. At the same time, he said, you need to find $300,000 and you got 1 month to do it. So I was like, oh. Yeah. So I made a lot of phone calls, right? Yeah. So then you do that. But
so I was here, especially because I'm originally from Houston. I just moved over here a couple months ago, so I'm still learning the area, everything like that. The home gym that I worked out in Houston, he used to tell me all the time. He was like, "Yeah, he goes, gyms are pretty expensive. Yeah, they're tough to keep up and stuff like that." So, what I guess it was your strategy of like, okay, you see this kind of month going the trends and different things of memberships or what you're paying for. Should I spend money on this? What was kind of your motivation there?
Well, always listen to the consumer, right? So that's number one. You've got to listen to what people want. That's what makes a lot of our decisions around here. But real world, the club is pretty good. When you become a business owner, you have to start seeing what really matters in the place and what can kind of stay as is.
Right.
Some things don't matter that much, but people do spend a lot of money on some things that don't matter at all.
Yeah.
And you have to just kind of sink in and feel the place, and then you'll know that. But at the same time, always ask advice, right? Always, if I'm speaking to anybody as a business owner, I'm like, you have to ask advice from your customer. That's what matters the most. So you got to care for them. You've got to care to have the product that they want. And my motivation is always them. It'll never, of course, I've got a family and children, and making money to support them is great.
Right.
But for this, it's, I have to help these people. That is always number one. And when people ask me if they're going to go into this business, I kind of tell them that if you don't possess that burning desire to help people, you know, may not be the right thing for you.
Right. So it's really looking out for the consumer.
Totally.
Yeah.
In most industries, it is actually that way too. So we have to take what we care about the most, like, whatever music I love right now, this is what I'm going to play all the time. So let Jim do that. And never thinking about what the other people want to hear. And it's always the constant same music. And as crazy as it is in a gym, that matters.
Right.
People care about what the music and the environment is.
Yeah.
So that can shut you down right there. You
Yeah.
have enough people not sign up or cancel because of it. Hey, I mean, so it's always listening there. Yeah.
So do you ever find for trying to get new customers coming in at, different trends? Obviously, everybody knows like the New Year's resolutions, everybody comes in, the new year, things like that. Are there ever any, I guess for seasonal times or peak times that you're like, okay, we need to push out maybe a special deal or maybe $1 down or something? You know how some of the big gyms kind of do that? Do you ever find yourself doing those types of things at different times, or you pick and choose?
Down here, so anybody that's going to do corporate fitness. This is corporate fitness is exactly what it is. Where are we?
Right.
We're surrounded by this. We're surrounded by people that are very busy professionals. They come into work and they go home. Would they love to grab a workout in there? That's great. That's our main customer. So again, knowing your customer base.
Right.
We reach out to the apartments all the time, but we don't have a ton of that for whatever reason that may be. Our apartments building better gyms in their facilities, and the people don't feel like they need to go get a bigger gym. Maybe, I don't know. But whatever that is, we still cater to the people that want to zip in here, zip out. Like if you've ever seen our locker rooms fully stocked with everything. And not only that, we'll wash, dry, refold, and put gym clothes back in someone's locker before the next day. So they don't have to worry about bringing gym clothes here.
Wow.
They don't need to bring a gym bag here. We have, in the showers, we have all three, the body wash, the shampoo, and the conditioner. We have razors and shaving cream and mouthwash up by the sink. So they don't have to have anything to come here if they want that service, which is renting a locker. But,
Right.
So we do those things for these people because it's in and out, fast, this, that. The main thing that helps us is if a company decides that they want to pay for all of their employees. That's probably my main avenue for bringing in new members, is to help a corporation.
Right.
But it's very easy to do that because the people, they're sitting all day. And they need to get up and get out and move, and they'll get the typical injuries and diseases essentially that come from sedentary lifestyle and sitting in a poor posture for 10 hours a day.
Right.
So when we're speaking to getting an entire company going, or at least tell your people we're here, they're more than happy to do that. And that's really where our members come from. So our membership focus is usually on that.
I was listening to a couple of your podcasts on YouTube, and in your intro, of course, you talk about the people that come on there. They help DFW, the Fort Worth area growing, and just those names there. Do you reach out to people, or do they reach out to you, or how do you pick your people that you would like to speak with?
I talk to them usually, and after being here for so long, I know a lot of those people that I've interviewed. But for example, Jean Marie and Craig Barnes, they trained with me a long time ago. They both worked at separate engineering firms. They've since gotten married and started their own engineering firm, which has now grown to 50 employees or maybe more. So now they are a big business leader in Fort Worth. And so I was like, come on, let's talk about it.
Right.
So you kind of grow up with it, but it's people you know, people you meet. We don't have a huge outreach for like, can I come on your show? There's so many shows now, man. Shows
everybody.
You can't go on the internet without finding somebody else's show.
Right.
So it's just something that we do to, I don't know. I mean, in some way, it's almost giving back to the people that have taken care of us for so long. Because to be interviewed, we're learning about your company and what you do, and for the business people, just putting that out there, they'll, hopefully it helps their business.
Yeah, it definitely shows more personal, personality in the gym. You're not just working out and going home. You know exactly what gym it is, who's running it, and everything like that. So I think that's a huge respect thing there. Things like that. How do you come to work every day and try to show like the people who work on you the best way to get the best out of your employees? What's the best way to do that?
I'm just always a very nice guy. That's how I lead. I think that people want to come to a place where they enjoy being. And so kindness is always the way that I go. You set things like a trainer has a personal budget that they should adhere to every month. And especially if they want to grow, they have to have that. They have to be thinking, oh, how many people did I sign up? The front desk people need a structured, sort of point by point
Right.
that they need to abide by where they're at the front desk and how they're treating people when they come in. But I think, so here, this is an interesting example. I talked to a guy in the area. I need to interview him, actually. His name's Lou Lambert. Just drop his name. I don't think he cares. But he owned Lambert's, and he's a top tier chef. Okay, then he owned his own restaurants, and now he recently just shifted over into the gym space. There's a gym called West Fork Fitness around here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard of them.
So he's the owner of that. Deep-seated Fort Worth guy, so it's probably going to be successful at it. But he told me, I said, so why the switch? And he was like, there's very few moving parts in a gym. So gym ownership, you can make it hard if you want to make it hard, but it's really not that hard. People need to know that you care about them getting their results and that you are friendly. And really, you don't want to go to a gym and people be rude. That's not what are you going to a gym for? You're going to a gym to feel better. Most people are.
Right.
Or to look better. I mean, feel better, look better, whatever.
Right.
Two things.
Yeah.
Half for look better, half better, feel better. So if you're not friendly, that will shut your gym down right there.
Right.
So friendly and helpful. So I put it out there. Gyms are fairly easy to run, and you can get in the way of it. You can get in its own way. So you just kind of like stay out of the way.
Right.
Let it do its thing. Sure, hiring has a thing, like which I'm on front desk. They have to be bubbly.
Right.
Oh, hey, I mean, if you can find one of those, then you really are like, if they know everybody's name, they're bubbly.
Yeah.
That changes the feel of the whole place.
Yeah, someone walks in there already loving it. Yeah.
Whole place.
Yeah.
Change the whole thing around. So
Right.
just those little things, but no, just kindness. And I don't think many industries make or businesses make it, where they're what we always see on TV, the person at the top. Nah, not really. Unless you're paying people $300,000 a year.
Right.
There you go, and I guess then you can be that way. But if not, you have to be nice and kind to your employees and help them grow when they need your help.
Right. So I have more of a two-part question. First one would be, I say growing up, but through your business career, did you have a mentor? And probably what was the best advice somebody's given you starting a business or even just starting out on your own?
I was going to write a book one time that was titled Everyone's a Mentor, because literally every person you come across is. All humans are supposed to interact with each other to help each other. It's just if you're choosing to listen and you're choosing to not, that's up to you. But so every single person in my life was, starting with probably my father, right? He was the first mentor. And then you even have friends that are your age when you play football that seem to be a little more professional with their life. And you go to that because you see that that's something that a gentleman or a man should do.
Right.
And then, yeah, of course, over the time, I mean, we talk about Larry North and my GM, Jimmy, here, too, right there, bam, right? And that was early on. And then other business mentors that come along the way. But if you ask, here's what they've always told me, and maybe it wasn't those people, but it wasn't those people that told me this, but it proved true with them. Anyone you ask, especially anybody that's done something big business-wise out there, that's the piece of them that they're usually missing, is passing that along. So when you ask any of them, they're usually very open to helping. Plus, they don't need money at that point.
Yeah.
So they're not trying to charge you for it.
Right.
They're just like, I feel like I need to bestow this information onto somebody else.
Yeah.
So I've always asked. And if people don't ask, they don't get. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's where people miss out. Who want mentorship.
Right.
If you're not looking for it or asking for it, you won't get it.
That's good.
It'll happen. That's how it is.
Right.
Got some great advice from it.
Yeah. Yeah. We so I had an opportunity to meet a pretty big influencer. His name's Juan Walker the other day, and just kind of seeing how he was speaking and the way he thought of different things. And he, something that he said was just like, he kind of kept saying like, yeah, I see myself through you guys starting out, and it's super cool to just kind of see that. And everybody's mindset is a little bit different in how they look at things, but it's kind of all the same. Everybody who's successful has that same like you can learn from everybody. Anybody you can learn from anybody. Like you said, my dad actually, I respect him a lot. He used to always say all the time, listen to everything, keep what you want, keep what you think, and then everything else just throw out.
Mhm.
And then every opportunity is a learning opportunity, no matter who it is. So I think that's super important. What would you say the best? Do you ever have have some people say they have a written thing over their bed or in their mirror, anything like that? Do you have anything any kind of advice that you keep? No, just everything all together.
But a guy that did pretty big business around here, he's actually come on the show, so I could probably say his name, Adam Smith. He built all the Harley Davidson dealerships around here. Okay, and then just recently sold them, which I think is public knowledge anyway, so I'm not hiding anything. He's got a book of them. I have zero. He's got a book full.
That's awesome.
Of one-liners.
Right.
So he now comes to I'm an adjunct professor at the university in Arlington, and he comes to my class now. It's kind of like a favor to do to him, because I think that was, again, a piece of him that he was missing, is the education and educating others. So he comes out and he'll write them all on the board. So for his lecture in the class, he's got them all written up on the board. Right. All his one-liners, and the students get to ask about them. So, yeah, I don't have any.
That's all right.
Zero. Sorry, I can't be helpful in that.
No, you're good. So if you, something I always really enjoy asking, especially people that I meet that are very successful, if you can go back, let's say, because I'm 24 years old, so if you can go back to your 24-year-old Steven, you go back, so you pop in, you 5 minutes with him, just something really quick, and he's, y'all both looking at each other like, what would you want to tell him? What was something that you would want to point across that early on? Maybe you wish you knew back then.
I am a person that I believe everything happens for a reason. So I would say that he is doing exactly what he was supposed to do at that moment, and so there's not advice. And if we try to change, if we had the ability to, and we try to change the past, that would be bad.
Right.
If we wished we always changed the past, that's bad too, because that's past.
Right.
The future's the future.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever you want to accomplish starts right now.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. And at 24, I felt like I was right where I needed to be. I was just stepped into this place, actually.
Huh.
I was looking for my first client. And if you had asked me anything, I was just so attracted to training. That's like, people would try to talk to me when I was sitting around. And it was always like, that's cool, but you had a fitness assessment? And that would happen about a minute in, dude. I'm like, I don't make conversation. I'm literally here to change bodies. Like, that's what I do.
Right.
And so now I was honed in on it.
Yeah.
And truth be told, if someone's thinking about following my footsteps at age 24, if that's not what they're thinking about, I don't know if that's for them either. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It has to be. Because to build this, you gotta care about people. And I'm now sitting in that office trying to change the whole 800. You know what I mean? In whatever way I can.
Right.
But that means I'm not a trainer, but how are my trainers doing? Let me check in with them. Let me see if they're doing it the way that I used to do it.
Yeah.
So that the person's getting the best outcome. So it's a totally different feel that you take whenever you're in this seat and that seat. But both of me now is exactly what I'm intended to be doing, and me then was exactly what I'm intended to be. But I will say this: if somebody wants to change, something we can change is, are we doing everything that we're doing day to day for the best reasons? Mm-hmm. Are we doing it for the benefit of other people? Because I do believe that that's what we're here for, is to benefit other people,
right,
and help each other.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's not the focus, that's when people can have a kind of a realization within themselves of, I probably need to be doing something a little bit different because I don't think that that's what I'm doing. And if you stay honed in on that task, you'll lead towards wherever you need to be, as long as your interest is in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and not so much for ourselves. The human brain has the ability to pour into others. It also has the ability to get very sucked into itself.
Right.
Right. And getting out of that is something that I think, to lead to success, we all must get outside of that. We must get outside of our own head and caring just about where's this, why,
Right.
And then you see growth, the kind of growth that people say they want.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I was gonna. I mean, I think you really answered that question when I was about to ask. But as somebody, what I see a lot is recurring, especially comments, things like that. As a little bit younger, a lot of things I hear is like, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't know what I'm doing in my life. I feel like I'm wasting my time. I think I need to, time's going too fast. Maybe I feel like I should know what I want to do, or I know I should be doing this. Maybe I should be doing things like that. But they feel maybe stuck or reoccurring. Somebody who's younger, what would you, if somebody came up to you and just said, look, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm 25 and I feel like I'm just stuck. What is something you would want to let them know?
If you ask people what their passion is, it usually it's funny, they'll tell you, and it has nothing to do with what they're doing. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. And you're like, well, okay, go do that. I mean, it's wild. We know exactly what it is. It's tougher for young people now because you've got way too many external things trying to tell you this, that. We don't even go sit down. Why do people talk about meditating and all this other stuff? Go sit in a quiet room and just, I don't know, create some sort of a humming noise and think. We don't do that. Right. When we're in a dark room, we've got a phone in our face, looking at other stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. If people, if they do that practice, they start to hear what they're supposed to be doing, and then they start doing it. And it's like all of a sudden out pops, well, I love animals. What the heck are you doing in the gym then? Go somewhere where there's animals if that's what you love.
Right.
And then so the answer is in us all. It's worse these days, and things have changed, haven't they? We're talking about more mental health issues, and I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm this, I'm that. You're not sitting in a quiet place and hearing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're thinking you have to be doing all these other things because it's what all these sources are telling you to do. Well, no joke, you have those feelings. This is like that has nothing to do with you. The answer is inside you. It's not out there. It's not here. No one's supposed to tell you what to do. So my solution, I've never been asked that before, but what I would do, I would tell somebody, you've got to spend more time quietly listening to yourself. And I'd ask them, what's your true passion? What'd you want to do when you were 6? I don't think I wanted to help people with health when I was 6, but it came on pretty early.
Right.
So everybody knows. We just sometimes choose not to listen to it.
That's good.
That's why meditation works. But I don't meditate. Yeah. I think I meditate when I lift weights. I think that actually happens. But I don't. My phone is nowhere near me. It's literally me in that moment. Yeah. Sure, maybe there's a little music playing. That's the meditation time. Right. So that's why I also encourage people to exercise. Yeah. If you increase blood flow in your brain, sometimes you activate areas that... like those areas are needed to have creative thoughts. Yeah. And so when you're not exercising too, that doesn't help anything. If you're stuck somewhere, that would probably be like one of the third things that would come in mind. Well, you're working out? No. Well, let's learn that.
Let's get first. Let's sign up at Vigor Active today.
And not even about the money, because the gym's fine. It's just about helping people unlock that stuff. So.
Yeah, there's something so early on that I really enjoyed quickly, because I've always worked out since I was young, in the gym, football team and things like that. But it wasn't until recently. So I was 235 pounds. So I was pretty big. I was lifting, but I wasn't really worried about the food portion and things like that. And then I really got into it. And then every single day, you yourself, you don't see changes, but taking pictures and other people saying, well, you look better, you look good, or anything like that. You see just every single day, it's like that 1%. It's a little bit, but it's always growing. So that's something that's always pushed me. It's okay. I might not see any results. It's been a month, maybe 2 months, but I know maybe that 1% is getting better. So that's been helping me a lot.
Someday you'll care about the mental. So when you get to a certain age, it turns away from that because you kind of achieve everything that body can achieve. It's there, and you're at your youngest, and then the sarcopenia and stuff, that will happen. You won't get weaker, but you're constantly battling it. So then that'll stop. Then you'll realize, whoa, when I exercise, I get this my mental state feels like I'm 18 again. Right. And then that becomes kind of your reason why. I like to have people list 5 reasons why they're doing this. It can't just be one, right? Because looking good is good. Health, so looking good, then health or proper body composition. Yeah. Then having a good cardiovascular system, mental, and then you sometimes you can even throw family into it. That helps because that stuff's never going away. Now I have little kids. I want to be there for them. I want to be there for them when they're 50. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is why every day I will not stop. Yeah. So you can look at those little changes, or you can create these big things in your head that will never go away.
Right.
So you constantly do it.
Yeah.
There's always going to be one of them are going to pop up in the morning.
Right.
And for the next 10 years of my life, when I pop up and see those little kids, there you go. So I got a 10-year plan. That's not going anywhere. I look at their face every day.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, give yourself reason.
If you let's say you I have kind of a fun question for you. If you ever have like let's say a bad day or a rough day or anything like that, and you're like, man, I need to go to the gym and I just need to lift some heavy weight. What's your go-to lift?
Oh, I was like, that's what I do.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, what do you do? I go to the gym.
Yeah, what's that go-to? I'm gonna throw this weight around.
My structure is always the same, and I know what muscle group I'm working that day, so I'll just go do that. But there's not a day that I won't do something heavy, right?
Yeah.
If it's shoulder day, I'm going to do heavy shoulder press. If it's back day, I'm going to do heavy lat pull down and row. If it's a leg day, sure, there you go. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to back load or whatever. You even throw in some heavy bicep curls, man. Or let's put some more weight on the skull crusher bar.
Yeah.
There's always a heavy lift in every single day of mine, and I do think there is something to that. Something from the higher centers where you're forcing all that neural drive to the muscles and all that. It does something. It engages something, or it teaches your brain that it's okay to push through all this tough stuff that's going to happen that day. Adam will tell you, you want a business? Cool. You just bought yourself a problem machine, and it spits them out probably 5 times a day, which is it's accurate.
Yeah.
As crazy as that is. And his was probably even more because he had 8 Harley Davidson dealerships, but it spits them out daily.
Yeah. Sometimes I think the mind is the hardest muscle to work because it seems like there's 5 bad thoughts before you get to one good one.
Yeah.
Then it comes so quick, and then you're 5 more. So you got to go through all those.
It's true.
That's good. I was having a question over it, but maybe if I talk about it, it'll come out. But how you're talking about helping people, that's super great. Going into the fitness, of course, when you're young, especially you go in there trying to just want to have a 6-pack and look good, right? I worked at Planet Fitness when I was in college. I was the trainer over there, and whenever I was at Planet, everybody talks about Planet. Oh, they're this or whatever. The gym's not as nice, whatever. The people that came to me for classes, like they really had no idea how to do anything, how to lift, how to look better. Like they were looking at machines and they were like, yeah, I don't know where to start. And to me, early on, I could have went in there like, I don't know what they're doing, but I started really changing my mindset of like, I could really help these people like change their life fully.
That's right.
Not just do things right, but that your body can do these certain things. The story I love to tell is I had an older lady. She was like 78, and she came in. She used to she would limp in there, and she's super nice. And she I would do something easy, light weights on the machines, and teach and stuff like that. And then at the end, she said, she goes, I want to do planks. I want to do a minute plank. And I was like, at first I was like, do you know what planks are, right? She goes, yeah. So she got on the ground and she did maybe like 4 seconds, and I was like, 78 years old. I was like, wow. So then I was like, okay, well, every single day we'll try to get a second more. By the time I was there for about 3 months, she was at 40 seconds. So I was 78 years old. Yeah, and I was like, that's great. And I don't think that was me. That definitely wasn't me because she wanted to do it. I was like, I'm not gonna put that in there. But it was really great to see and then the people that I trained. Like again, I feel like I was just a vessel of just not even being like, do it like this, do it right, but just let me just show you just the proper way. And
people need motivation, and insist that people helping people need energy sometimes. I've seen an image where you put out at least 5 feet of energy around your body, based on the electrical activity and everything that's happening, and the electrons and all that protons that are spinning around. So it's they need that. And
right.
That's, people ask me sometimes, do you think that in-person personal training will go away? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because it's not about that. When you feel someone else's energy, I think we always do this, but right now the online stuff is cool, but when it always will go back.
Yeah.
When more people get back with in-person trainers, there'll be this hit again. It's like, whoa, it's way different.
Right.
It was just something that during the world closure, we started doing a lot of. Yeah. And it's still kind of there. Mm-hmm. When people make their way back to being around a person, it's way better.
Yeah.
She needed your energy.
Yeah.
Like that's what had to happen.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Older folks are great to train. It is one of those areas where it literally does change their life. Mm. Oh, you can't get up and walk around your apartment. Oh, you couldn't make it to the bathroom in time. And now that never happens.
Yeah.
You're running around your apartment. Oh, and by the way, you then ventured outside your apartment and went to some dance class
Right.
and met some guy. I mean, like all this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those kind of life changes only happen when you can move and
Yeah.
get out
Mhm.
and have the confidence to get out.
Right.
And that this builds so much life change. It's absurd.
Yeah.
I'll never do anything different. I've already
Yeah.
seen what this does for people. It's just where I'll live my life.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool. I had a trainer or mentor I call now has told me he doesn't lift weights. He uses them. We just use the weight room to
Of course.
grow our mind, to grow our bodies, and of course the physique and the looking good is I think it's like you were saying it's a what's a word for it? That's the back part.
Mhm.
It's all up here first. Being a gym owner, you see a lot of people coming in and out all the time, signing up, canceling their memberships. Do you ever see initially whenever they do sign up that you kind of have you see that they will stick around for the long term, or maybe that they might give out a little bit early? Because you've been around so long, you've seen different types of things, all different kinds of people. Do you ever see that with your members?
The way that I'll answer this is we got to put it back on the club. Okay, so taking it away from the people,
Right.
because I've seen people that were super motivated that ended up canceling early for some reason, and then people that didn't seem that motivated but ended up staying around for a long period of time. Now, as far as results go, yeah, the longer you stay around, the more results you're going to get. I've known people that weren't in it to change their body much, but their mental and if you're producing hormones properly, you're gonna change, the lifestyle change we're talking about. You're gonna get that. So we've seen those. I think it's in the hands of the gym, because what we do know, and kind of what you were asking, is this thing is super evolving and cyclical. This club, the only reason that we would have somebody cancel is because they're literally moving the city. Not that they're not using it. We encourage every single person to, and it's how you start that. Like I like you said planning, you weren't there. I like the structure that they took because everybody can go with a trainer.
Yeah.
A lot of clubs don't do that. We do that, but we have 6 trainers. But everybody goes with a trainer for a couple sessions. I don't know why more gyms don't do that, because a workout can be written, something for people to follow. So it falls, the lack of success that happens in this industry for people that just fall off is more on the gym side. I think gyms need to take that seriously.
Yeah.
We can go into the gym all day. We can go in there as the employees and we can jack around with each other and this and that and kind of say hi to somebody, or we can do why we're actually there for.
Right.
Give these people our energy and our attention and make sure that they have the proper tools to move forward. Then they become long-standing members. And then they don't have to fail.
Right.
They got there because they didn't want to fail, but something nobody took. And people need different hand-holding. That's part of people.
Yeah.
This person needs none. Get out of my way. Actually, I want 0. Don't even talk to me when I come here. Okay, fine. This person, I got to talk to you all day when I come here, and I need you to hold my hand, and you're going to have to kind of drag me out of my apartment sometimes and get me back in here. So it's usually, that's the thing to feel out. But to answer it, there's no pattern I've seen in people that are successful and unsuccessful.
Yeah.
The pattern that would keep the unsuccessful from continuing on without our help is something that happens probably in their head or at home, that we can't see.
Yeah. I give more, I would say I give more advice or like my personal opinions on things that helped me from my physique or with growing and things like that. I never really tell someone like, you should eat this or you should be like that or do this. When you were a trainer, when you were going through, did you have a nutrition plan that you threw in there? Did you give them did you do the same thing, kind of just give them recommendations? How did you do mostly that aimed at nutrition-wise rather than just working out, coming every day?
I did a lot. I'd do basal metabolic rate stuff, all the science, that I had just learned. I wanted to bring it in, and people found it amazing to learn that much about their body. But I would calculate a basal metabolic rate. From there, I would properly calculate protein based on their kilogram body weight times probably 0.1 or 1.0, 1.2. Give them that first, then go and prescribe some carbohydrates. They didn't know what the heck protein, carbs, and what fell into what category, so I'd have to tell them that. But it was very, very, very in depth. based on how many calories they were going to consume. Now, a few years after that, which I never really had the chance to tell my old clients about the dangers of the sugars and the seed oils and all the other stuff that's come out now, the bleaching process of some of the foods. So that's a big thing that I'll help people with now, is to get them away from that stuff. And they usually drop 20 pounds of inflammation in like 2 weeks. You know? So,
Right.
So like that's a newer thing that we're kind of going over, is to eat more whole. They don't understand though. People don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, nutritionally, it's, I didn't tell them exactly what to eat, but I told them, this is a protein, this is a carb, or this is a list of proteins, pick.
Yeah.
So I would just kind of lay it out like that. Now, as the people get older, what we've learned is you can't be on as many carbohydrates as you were when you were younger. The younger body can use them. It uses them a lot.
Yeah.
The younger body can actually also excrete junk, like any of the junk that I was just mentioning. It knows how to excrete that and get rid of it.
Right.
The older body doesn't heal as fast, so it takes longer. So the body can get bogged down by that. So the older person has to take all that out, probably take some carbohydrates away, and change that balance. Even if they were it's usually more protein.
Yeah.
I mean, more protein, more vegetables is what happens when they start to get a little bit older. But quick meals.
High protein PB&J or
No. I mean, so like if I eat PB&J now, if I do, it's the peanut butter that has just peanuts and sea salt.
Yeah.
And they grind it up. I used to go to the Jif or whatever, but when you read that, it's got so much sugar.
Yeah.
It's like there's just so much crap in there. So, my wife and I prepare chicken. We've got it all in the fridge. We've got it in the fridge already. So we've got everything prepared.
Yeah.
So if I'm hungry, I just kind of grab what I've got made.
Yeah.
And it needs to be something healthy. It needs to be chicken, or it needs to be turkey. It's got vegetables on it. It's like, so that's what it's turned into. But we use a protein powder called Eat the Bear. If I was really hungry and it needed to go fast, and the vanilla one, and
Eat the Bear is a crazy name.
I know.
That's awesome.
But I like it. And it's only 5 ingredients. And 3 of them are the protein, the stevia, not sugar.
I love stevia.
And protein, stevia, one of the other was super safe. And then the other 2 little things are just like those anticoagulants. But if I look at one from a nutrition shop of some sort, or the ones that people will pitch, there's like 50 ingredients.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is it's no good for the body at all.
Right.
So like we just try to find a natural one. But that's really what I would do. If I'm starving and it has to be fast, I just slam that. If I can't have time to cook up the other stuff that I've got. But you get older, natural food is the way you got to go.
The way you got to go.
The way you got to go.
Yeah. I'm super curious. So now, I don't know if they had it during the training days, but I use MyFitnessPal now. I track everything on that. You can weigh it, you just look it up, and very simply doing it like that. Whenever you're doing your clients and they had to know how many proteins, carbs, did you guys have something like that, or how did y'all track
The
it?
Livestrong, which was Lance Armstrong's app or whatever, that thing could do it.
Oh, perfect.
They've been around.
Yeah.
I'm
not saying you're old, I promise.
No, it's okay. This is years ago, Fitbit had one before I ever started training. Do you know what Fitbit is?
Yeah.
Fitbit has had one of those from the beginning. They've been around.
Yeah.
Kind of since the internet was there and you could do it, some make sure one on there.
Yeah.
It's always been a concern for people. So
Right.
the second I looked, I found it was easy.
Yeah, I thought about that the other day. I was like, I think I was tracking something, and I was like, man, I can't imagine, like, oh, you know what it was? Whenever I was doing an old video, I remember he had asked me, he goes, or we had a question of, like, would you be able to do your transformation without the internet? And I really thought about that. I was like, of course you can, but would you have the same motivation to do it, or would it be a little bit harder? And like that, I'm like, it's a lot simpler now than I feel like it might have been a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know you mentioned at the beginning, you have putting people with the trainers and things like that. Is it, I guess, whenever you want to sign up, you can grab a trainer, or is it maybe the first couple are free, or how do you kind of set that up?
Yeah, the first couple. Yeah, we do the fitness assessment in 2 sessions. Right? There's complementary stuff, but it's enough to go through it. And any good trainer, as you know, could do well, here's all your push muscles and here's all your pull muscles, and your legs fall into that somewhere.
Yeah.
So you got 2 days of 8 exercises each, so you can go around and still do something.
Right.
And here's a list of them.
Get you set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get set up.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, we try to take care of people in the best possible way here at the club.
Are all your trainers certified? Do they have to be certified, or do they look for, what do you look for with a trainer?
Now we're finding, what's coming to us based on where we are is 6, 7 certifications.
Wow.
Master's degrees.
Yeah.
that's what's happening now. So,
Yeah.
But we would typically look for, we like a degreed person. Kinesiology is ideal. And then I'm, since I teach it, I like the NSCA. They've got the longest standing reputation. They're very science-based. They're nonprofit. But then you've got NASM,
Right, the big one.
ACE, and ACSM, which real world, ACSM and NASM were I would still call them the big ones. Their test and their material is the most pertinent to what the person's trying to do. As crazy as that sounds. NASM has become very good at selling their certification.
Yeah.
So it's more well known amongst the young, and they go through the social media channels to find people. Science-based organizations, or the top science-based organizations with the longest track record, are going to be ACSM and NSCA. So put that out there so people can hear it, because they hold a lot of weight. And the certifications are harder to get. So people are like, oh, I don't want to take the one that's hard to get. Some people say, I want to have the one that's hard to get. So people know that I didn't just get an easy cert.
Right.
I don't think NASM is easy. I have their PES that I took a long time ago. It was easy to me, but I already had taken the CS. So,
Okay, gotcha.
whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Did you have anything you wanted to say or add, or anything you wanted me to ask you, or anything like that you would like to put on? No?
I'm good.
Perfect.
It happened as it was supposed to.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. I like that outlook. But no, I really do appreciate it. It's the gym is definitely, opening a gym is definitely in the far.
Sure.
As I go through, I've always loved working out, and like you said, playing it really did kind of change my outlook. I was like, wow, there's people out there that really don't know how to work out. I would love to help them out. You know what I mean? Instead of saying like, oh, you don't know how to use a bench press, it's like, no, I don't. You know what I mean? How do I use it? So
Yeah.
that's
Most people don't.
yeah. And I think that's awesome. That people out there like you, let's put the consumer first. Let's put the person first. That's awesome.
You're out there doing it too, man.
Yeah.
So keep trucking.
Yeah.
Keep following your dream.
So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Steven, it was great to sit down and talk with you. I appreciate your time. It was an honor to sit down and learn from you.
Sure.
Make sure y'all come down to Vigor Active, get your free one training session, two training sessions, and just listen to it. But yeah, as always, keep it moving, and see you on the next one.